This is my mom. She's almost 79 years old, lives in the cutest tiny home, is on 0 meds, and jokingly claims that the owner of a French restaurant in our town is her boyfriend. Today she thinks I'm gonna do a little interview with her about growing older and staying healthy, which I am. However, today I'm gonna tell her some things I've never told her, and I'm not sure how she's gonna respond. First, I'm gonna pick her up a pastry from Fabrizio at the little French cafe in town. Well, sadly, I think Fabrizio is in Paris, so I'm gonna find another treat for her. She'll like these. I mean, they're not Fabrizio's, but now I gotta get some protein. Okay, we're almost to my mom. As some of you may know, last year we lost my sister to cancer. So as you can imagine, it was one of the hardest years of our life, and of course, one of the hardest things my mom could have ever imagined. It's put things into perspective for me in a lot of ways, and it's made me a lot more diligent with like scheduling time with her and calling her every morning, and super grateful that she only lives about 15 minutes from us. With my sister passing, even with all the pain, my mom is still living, still being positive, still talking about the good times. And that's really who I grew up watching. She's literally been single for over 30 years. And I know a lot of the times when troubling things or hard times have happened, she's probably felt alone, and she maybe didn't feel too confident or too prepared to handle a situation, but she always figured it out. And she always restarted, kept going, and I've really come to admire that. Hi!
Hello!
I got you a little treat.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's not from Fabrizio, but
Croissants.
it's my mom, Carol.
Hello!
I was thinking you could do a little quick tour of your tiny house quick.
Okay.
That sound good?
So this is my 500 square foot tiny home. I'm in a forested area, and as you can see, there's lots of windows to give you the illusion of large space. I have a little screened-in porch and a loft that, you know, there's a mattress up there for someone to sleep if they like being in a short, or if they're short. And now we're going to scan over to the kitchen area.
You're real Vanna White.
She did not tell me she was going to do this. So here's the fridge and the dryer and washer and the bathroom, which is actually rather large for a tiny home.
It's honestly bigger than our bathroom.
And then here is, see,
It's okay.
here's the bedroom.
It's cute.
Show them the cute little curtains.
And this is to keep her
Protected. I mean, there was a time when I was getting a lot of palmetto bugs.
which is something we love here in South Carolina.
Known
Bugs.
as cockroaches in the north.
Ugh. So it's kind of a miracle that you suggested we do this. And I love this idea. I'm always gonna treasure it. I'm gonna be so glad that we did this. And I think what you share today is gonna be inspiring, especially about getting older and staying healthy. And yeah, okay. So you had me at 36,
Yes,
second marriage.
yes.
What was that like for you having a baby, you know, like in your upper 30s?
Well, I still had 3 children at home from my first marriage,
Yes.
who were in their teens. So they were actually a lot of help once little Erin was, you know, in the home. And my husband wanted a boy really badly. And after 3 girls, when he was younger, we thought we'd try to have a little boy for him.
That was a no-go.
And thankfully, it turned out to be a little girl who's been such a major blessing.
Cue the tears.
blessing in my life as I grow older, because she's close by and, you know, able to be over here in about 10 minutes if I have an emergency. So yeah, I did have a lot of weight to lose afterward.
And that's okay. So one of the things I always remember is that you would always try and get up early before I got up to work out. And she was always doing Denise Austin or
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Was my favorite.
Hips, thighs, and buttocks was Denise Austin. And so you weren't like at the gym lifting weights, but you always exercise. At what point in your life do you feel like you were like, okay, I need to do this? Or were you always like that? Like, I don't know what you were like before me.
I remember doing exercises to Michael Jackson's first album when my first 3 children were grade school. I remember exercising it would be late at night after they went to bed. I would be in the living room with my huge hi-fi stereo, and
they didn't wake up.
they would sneak downstairs sometimes and watch, because I had headphones on.
Oh gosh.
So no, they didn't.
And they were all 1 year apart.
Yes.
So if you can imagine, it would have been 2, 3, and 4, or 3,
Or
4, and
7,
5,
8,
6,
and 9.
whatever.
They
I mean,
were-
3, 4, 5. I'm always bragging on her that she is 78. She's going to be 79 in October, and that she's not on any medication. So what are some habits that you think have allowed you to be the age you're at and not be on any medication?
Well, I try to eat right. I try not to eat a lot of processed foods. I try to cook with olive oil. I have yogurt with my daughter's encouragement every morning. So I try to, and I cook. I don't eat out a lot. I don't buy a lot of prepared food. I try to drink a lot of water, but that
No,
I
you are.
don't.
It's not like you drink Diet Coke every day.
Right. I drink either iced tea that I make or water. So that helps.
What about like vitamins or, I don't know. Well, you can't take baths anymore. She was always a bath girl. So she was always kind of, in my eyes, into self-care. Like she always had a night where she did her nails.
I'm doing them today.
She always had a night where she did her nails, and she always took baths. She always had
Pedicures.
bubble bath and Epsom salt and pedicures. She never like went out and had her nails done, but
No.
you always took care of it yourself. And I admired that. It was probably because she didn't want to spend the money.
Right, that was a
Because,
big part of it.
You know, raising kids on your own and all that kind of, yeah, it's a challenge.
Challenge.
So,
So I don't know why I was concerned about, staying healthy.
because were you taught, do you feel like you were taught self-care or
No, well, maybe my aunt did a stickler eating healthy.
but for
exercise.
her it was more about probably being skinny.
Yeah, she had a real thing about not gaining weight.
Yeah.
So that could have been.
So probably when you were younger, a motivator for you to exercise was probably weight loss.
And I hated
Being
big
skinny.
size.
Yeah, which definitely runs in our family.
Yes. It's always a challenge, but I just think you feel better.
Mhm.
I can always tell if I quit for a while. I can always tell the way my body feels that I have to get back to exercise.
So in your 60s and 70s, what has been like your go-to for exercise?
Okay, up until 5 years ago, I lived really close to a great athletic center. It was more, when I was there during the mornings, it was more seniors that were there, so that was a comfort level.
Yeah.
And I did always walk a lot, and I love that. But where I live, it's all gravel roads, so it's not conducive to getting up first thing
Yeah.
and hitting the...
So what has been your go-to?
So I just do YouTube videos. I do walking videos. I do Jane Fonda. She's got videos for older women, and I use a Coach Kim. So I alternate those, and that's what I do right here in my little.
Do you still use like little hand weights?
I do,
Oh.
although not as heavy as I used to,
Oh,
but
that's
I'm
okay.
building back up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what would you say to women in their 40s and 50s who think maybe they're at a place where they're just hasn't, I mean, a lot of women that I run into, after they have kids, they're just kind of not interested anymore and maybe trying to take care of themselves, or maybe they've gained weight and they just don't feel beautiful anymore and they feel like it's too late. Like, what would you say to them? Like, if they think maybe it's too...
you just can't stop. You just have to keep it up. I know it's harder when you're married because you're more attuned to that other person's schedule and don't have as much free time as your own, but you just have to make it a priority. And I mean, you're doing a favor for your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm enjoying great grandchildren. So if for nothing else, do it for the future generations in your family.
Absolutely. Okay, so looking back, what is something you would tell your younger self, like maybe when you were in the ages where you were having all your babies, about like aging or taking care of yourself that maybe you desperately needed to hear?
Well, one big thing I remember vividly is falling down a flight of steps when I was in my 20s. And I should have gone to the emergency room or seen a chiropractor, but I didn't. And to this day, any type of pain I have is always in the leg that I fell on.
Wow.
So when you're young, you just think you're omnipotent and don't need to
get things checked out.
Yes, get things checked out. But it's very important as you age to do that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you fell on the steps.
I know it was slippery.
Okay, so what is your favorite thing about living in a tiny house, and what's been the most unexpected thing for you in regards to living in a tiny house?
Well, first of all, you really have to get rid of stuff. I mean, I had china and, silverware and crystal, and none of my girls wanted it. Back in my day, that was the big deal, was picking your china pattern when you were getting married. But kids, young people don't care about that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I'm doing my daughters a favor by getting rid of all the stuff. And it was just an emotional thing. I just had to look at it and say, do I really need this?
Yeah.
But the neighbors here have been great. It's a great community as far as we do a lot of things together. We have a little park where we get together.
They have happy hour.
Yeah, we have happy hours on occasion. So, it's just kind of nice to mingle with other retirees, especially it's a lot of women, but there are men,
which has been so great for me, because for so long, like, me and the kids, were your biggest source of entertainment or social engagements. And so for me to know that you have like people that you want to hang out with and that you get to, especially around your age, you know? So we need to talk about your boyfriend at the French restaurant, okay? What is the story there?
It's a small French restaurant. There's maybe 5 tables, and the chef does all the cooking and serving and waiting on tables. And he's French,
a little
of
ponytail.
course. Yes.
Curly hair.
He has a little ponytail, and he's probably in his 50s?
I would think, mid-50s.
But just that accent, just... So anytime I have a little birthday luncheon I want to plan for someone.
Fabrizio.
We go see Fabrizio. Voila.
Okay, so I definitely had to write some of this next part down because I didn't want to mess it up, So, okay, Mom, I just want to say, thank you, seriously, for doing this with me. And you've inspired, even just preparing for this interview, it just made me realize that you've inspired me more than you probably know. And, I watched you restart after getting a divorce, get devastating news about child support decreasing when I was little, and that just rocked your world. Get laid off, move to a new big city, move to a new state, downgrade and buy a tiny house. Your daughter passed away last year. You're so brave, and although you have to mull things over for a really long time sometimes, I love and appreciate that you don't act impulsively, but yet you don't let these big decisions or these big changes stop you. You don't make excuses, and you just kind of buckle up and
Do what you
you know,
gotta
take
do.
it on. And I know so many people will watch and hear those things and feel the same way. Like, you know, and feel free, just blow up the comments. Like, we love you, Carol. And when I started a YouTube channel, like after all the business things and all the things like that I had done, I felt so silly. And I think a big part of it for me was because I watched you, you know, be in the same job for so many years, and same with Dad. Like, it was so common back then. Like, people just didn't really reroute their careers as often as they do now. So I don't know if I felt silly for doing that, but you always encouraged me by watching and commenting and being like, how do I like it again? And cheering me on when I get these like awesome comments that make me cry. And when I hit a new goal. But I'm just so grateful for your love and support, and I'm just so glad you're my mom, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate hitting 20,000 subscribers than to
I'm
just
so
do a
proud
little
of you
interview with
too.
you.
I
And
don't know what I'd do without you and your family.
I love you. So if you're watching this and thinking like it's too late for me, like whatever the thing is, like I hope this just reminds you that it's just never too late to take care of yourself and
change your course.
yes, to try something new, to live with curiosity and joy, because my mom has just been such living proof of that. And you know, she's not perfect, believe me. The woman can get on my nerves. Just, you know, we could have a whole separate video about that, but she's amazing. And let me know in the comments, like, what is something maybe that you want to try, or, you know, give my mama some love, or
give your own mama some love.
yes, or, you know, and I'm sure there's some of you watching that you don't have your mom around still to hug and love on. And you know, I definitely hold space in my heart for you, because I cannot imagine the day when I'm not going to be blowing her up in the morning to see what she's up to and hear about the TV shows she's watching and the random recipes she's making, because this woman will make super fancy recipes for herself like almost every night. It's quite impressive. So, but I love you.
I love
and
you
thank
too.
you.
Thank
and
you.
You're welcome. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.
Ciao.